not a package holiday resort. It appeals mainly to the independent traveller. It's in the south of France, and to get there you can fly either to Marseille or Nice. If you drive, the autoroute runs to the north, and the best railway station is Saint-Raphael, from where you can take a ferry to the resort. Saint-Tropez is on the Gulf of Saint-Tropez and is the only resort on the French Riviera that actually faces north. Saint-Tropez has kept its good looks as a Provençal community. There are no high-rise hotels, and the old town still has great charm. There are few beaches to speak of in the town. Its focal point is the harbour, which is dominated by the display of expensive yachts. The rich certainly congregate here, and prices are high. A small beer can cost £2. The local population of 6,000 can swell to 100,000 during the day at the height of the summer, so expect crowds. Parking is a problem, and jams are inevitable. You'd be better off taking one of the ferries that cross the bay between the campsite areas and Saint-Tropez harbour. They cost about £2. Or you could hire a motorbike. They're about £25 a day. The famous Pampelonne beach is 4 miles away and divided into 33 private sections. A parasol and sunbed costs from £6 a day. But there are a few free public sections. The sand is fine and the sea shelves gently. To get away from the crowds, you can walk along the coastal path and discover secluded bays and more. Well, those are the bare facts about Saint-Tropez in a nutshell. Let's now see what our resort reporter John Thirlwell made of the place.
Early morning in Saint-Tropez, and the town is putting on its face. As the streets and quays are swept clean and the millionaires' yachts rubbed down and polished, it's as if the stage is being set for some kind of performance. And really, that's the only way to describe life in this, the most self-conscious of resorts. For here, the rich come to flaunt their wealth, and the rest of us come to watch. Since the 50s, Saint-Tropez has been promoting itself as an exclusive bolt hole for the rich and the very rich. Virtually every other shop is an expensive boutique. And to quote the mayor, they'd rather have one tourist who spends 1,000 francs a day than 1,000 spending one apiece. The irony is that the more exclusive Saint-Tropez tries to be, the more people come just to look. And although most Brits can't afford the hotels, they can do the next best thing. Camping or renting mobile homes is very popular with British families. It's a comparatively cheap way of savouring the Riviera. The Luxtons paid almost £600 for a 2-week holiday.
The reason we chose this site is because of the kids club they run here, which we thought had an attraction for the children. They've loved that. And there is plenty to do. There's lots of entertainment put on every night. There's an excellent swimming pool there with a kiddies pool as well, which is safe for the youngsters. We've even been able to watch Wimbledon and European Championships.
Close to the campsites, Port Grimaud is a pastiche of a Provençal village. Built in the 60s, every house has its own waterfront on a huge network of canals. The rich live here with their yachts, while the tourists come to watch in water buses. Certainly is an amazing place, well laid out and well worth a look, but inevitably rather fake. If you want the real character, you've got to look elsewhere. Which means coming back to dry land and braving the often heavy traffic into Saint-Tropez itself. The old part of town has retained some of its charm, despite the ravages of tourism. And on Tuesdays and Saturdays, the locals are out in force, mingling with the tourists at the market. There's plenty of local produce, including some delicious Provençal goat cheese.
C'est de la chèvre. C'est assez fort.
It's not just things to eat, of course. There are things to wear, too. And a fashion tip from one in the know. Day-glow colours are in this summer, so I could scarcely resist picking up a natty pair of radioactive beach shorts. And sporting my new purchase, it was off to the beach at Pampelonne for a dip in the warm waters of the Med. The beaches here can be crowded. Indeed, in a couple of weeks or so, you won't be able to see the sand for people. They're also a hive of industry. Not only will you be offered every kind of cocktail at the beachside bar, you'll also be propositioned by numerous vendors, flogging everything from shorts to peanuts. You can even have your hair cut if you have the necessary £4.50 with you. When all this free enterprise gets too much for you, it's time to head for the hills. Just above Saint-Tropez, the village of Gassin offers a welcome break from that hustle and bustle. Admittedly, the season hasn't really begun, and the tourists will soon be coming here. But I suspect this pretty place is never exactly hectic. The peace and quiet of Gassin almost balance out all that showiness and vulgarity down below. It's enough to make you miss the place.
When all's said and done, Saint-Tropez really is about people. It's about seeing and being seen. So find yourself a front row seat on the harbour and do a bit of posing. Everybody else is, why not you?
Away from the harbour in the Place des Lys, the locals take a little gentle exercise before dinner, playing boule, and they didn't seem to mind me joining in.
The food is good, as you'd expect in France. This is bouillabaisse, a local Provençal fish stew. Delicious, but it does cost you £20 a head. You can find set three-course menus for about £8 each, plus wine, which may be more affordable, but is still, I think, a price you'd only want to pay on special occasions. And that's how I feel about the whole place, really. Saint-Tropez is a resort for special occasions, a place to visit and not to stay. Anyway, bon appétit.
Now, our verdict on BBC Northwest, PO Box 27, Manchester M60 1SJ. If you want the leaflet on the cheap French railway tickets, please send a stamped addressed envelope. Also, we'd like to hear from you if you've recently come across timeshare touts or had a holiday horror. 061-814-3222 is our recorded information line with details of the bargains, and that information is also on CFAX page 287. See you next week.